Hi, I'm Terry White with Design Your Life with Terry White, the show about customizing and designing your life and taking risks to make a wonderful space to be a space that you want to be all the time. It seems like we're at home a lot these days. Today we're just going to kind of hit a few little topics. One is spray painting. Spray painting is a really big, important part of my life. As I putter about the garden, I look at things that I have spray painted over time, and I have seen the shows about how to spray paint, and they show long passes and return and pass over. Well, that is not the way I spray paint. I'm not saying that they are wrong. I'm just saying this works for me. I generally always, I just painted these two chairs this morning. They're dry now. But I generally, when I'm painting a chair or a something, I will use two colors of paint, two very similar colors. I wanted these to look like rust, so I did choose things from the Rust-Oleum company. One is called Flat Red, and that was my base coat. And the other one is just brown, but it's a flat. This has a satin finish. This is a flat finish. I don't completely cover everything with the red or with the other one, but you can see what it ends up doing is giving a depth to the brown that's not quite so spray painted and not quite so flat. But I'll show you very quickly. Short burst. Shake your paint really, really well. And I just do very short bursts. Takes longer, but you don't get runs, and I feel like the end result is so much better. We'll go to another little project out in the moss garden that involves spray paint as well, eventually. But you'll notice with all the watering, it is very hot here in Nashville, and I've gone from doing a lot of projects to watering and trying to keep everything alive and happy and well. And in the process of watering so much, I had this very rare variety of mushroom pop up all the way through the moss garden. I think they're called umbrella mushrooms. But I'm going to show you now how to mount an umbrella in the middle of the dirt. I don't like those stands that umbrellas normally are mounted in. For one, they'll blow over in wind, and two, you hook your foot on them if you don't have a chair and a table around it. So what I did was went to the hardware store, and I got these 1.5 inch galvanized iron pipes. This one I buried in the ground in a very small hole, all the way level with the ground, so that I can come along with this joiner and another pipe the same size, and I can simply screw it on there, and then I can remove it when I no longer want the umbrella. And after I do remove it, I'll take one of these copper end caps for piping that we've talked about earlier, and I'll simply put it over the piece that comes out of the ground, and you'll never even know that it was there or not. But the pipe, the paint that I used for it are Kona Brown and dark walnut. And I did the Kona Brown first. Short burst. It was a little red, and then I went on top of it with the dark walnut to get the color more like the color of the pole, so it would kind of disappear. This paver gravel is out here. I use a lot of this in many of my projects. But after I mounted the pipe into the ground, I filled the pipe up full of this and tamped it down so that the umbrella would ultimately be the bottom of it at ground level, but yet there was drainage so that the wood wouldn't sit in a water-filled pipe for a long, long time. But other than that, on a hot day, wow, and it is hot and it is sunny, that was the reason for all the umbrellas, to keep me from having to water quite so much, especially some of the new moss that I have just planted. The moss that I have used, the Intodon seductrus up here, will do quite well in full sun once it's attached and creates its own little environment. Some of the moss is new, has not, therefore I created the umbrella farm. And you see, I've done them all the way down through here. Yes, a little sun comes through a few of the places, but that's okay. It doesn't sit for 4 hours in the direct sun. This all is because I had a maple tree that used to shade this whole area when I first started the moss garden. It unfortunately got a blight or a disease or something, and it was recommended that I take it down completely so that this other maple tree that I've got here, I didn't lose it. But what it did was create a full midday sun section right in the middle of my wonderful, moist, lovely moss garden. But I see here we have a glass of wine and a bottle from my good friends at Harvest Wine, my wine merchant. But this is just a little teaser about next week. We might have a show about use of wine bottles and corks, and maybe a little drinking of wine as well. Until then, cheers.
Thanks for watching Design Your Life with Terry White. Subscribe to Terry's channel or comment below the video and let us know what parts you loved. Tune in for next time. We will be starting a new series called Happy Hour with Terry. Thanks for watching, and until then, cheers!